So I took the NCLEX yesterday, February 4, 2016 at 8 a.m. I remember driving there. My husband drove me because I could not drive in the freeway. We left here at 6 a.m. We got to Asheville at around 7:30ish or so. And I remember preparing for it the past few weeks. I was just doing a lot of reviews and doing a lot of questions and just practicing questions left and right. I had stickies on my refrigerator and all over my house just to kind of remember things, especially lab values that I'm having problems with remembering. I felt like I kind of prepared for it pretty good, and I have all these books and just some of the books that I use Kaplan, and I have the ATI, I have this that I got from another nurse. I couldn't say that I felt confident, but I could say that I was prepared for it, especially because I was excited and everything already to take the test because I already had a job waiting for me. I was just excited, just like everybody else. I was excited and thrilled and really looking forward to just getting it over with after graduation. So I came in there at 7:30 and they processed me. They do your fingerprints, your palm print or whatever. And at that point I was still okay. But as soon as I sat on the chair and I was logged in the computer, and as soon as I hit the start button, there goes the torture. The first few questions were okay. Went on to the 40th question, 50th question. I was like, oh, I'm doing good. From my previous informations, some of my friends that already took it, they said that they stopped at question 75 or 80. The most that I've talked to was, she said she got to 100 some. You wouldn't know the results after 2 days, 48 hours. And so I was kind of like, oh, maybe I'm gonna quit in about maybe 90-ish question, or 100 max. I already kind of put my mind into like 100 max, give and take. And so I hit 70, 71, and I was like, okay. 72 came the 75th question, and the screen went blue, and it says, do you want to take a break? And I was like, oh, okay. 75 questions asking me to take a break. I'm not going to take a break. I'm not going to take this break because I might be finished in 10 more questions maybe or something. So I clicked, no, I don't want to take a break. I kept on doing, and when it reached to the probably close to 90th question, I started freaking out. I said, oh my gosh, why am I on the 90th question already? I was already so distracted with anxiety. I was like, I felt like I was doing this a lot in my chair. Like, I was like, I know I needed to pee, but I figured, oh, it stopped on 75th question, so maybe it's gonna wait for me to. I might have to wait until 150th question to be able to pee again. And I said, no, yeah, it's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna get to 150 question. This is gonna quit. I'm gonna be finished. So I just kept on answering the questions, and a lot of them were questions that I like. What? Like, you read the question, I was like, and you read the choices, and you're like, what again? So you start again and read it through again, and you ended up reading through the question, and then you ended up like freaking out, like, what? This sounds right. No, this sounds more right. Wait, this sounds more right. And, and at that point, you just lose it, and you just figure that you're screwed. And so it went on, 120th, and I'm like, holy crap, I really am gonna pee on my pants. And so I just felt so restless, and I could almost hear my breathing getting so harder and harder. I could hear every person's heartbeat in the room. I think there was about maybe less than 10 of us in the room, but we're on little cubicles, so but we're really close to each other, so I could hear the clicks of the mouse, like you could tell that they're choosing their answers, and it was just so bothering me like crazy. Like I just wanted to, like, please can you make your mouse not click or something? And I could hear some people sighing, like you could hear it. I could hear someone just almost kind of groaning already, and it was just like freaking me out even more. It was a terrible feeling, and especially when you know that, well, why am I on 130th question already and this thing is still not stopping? It just keeps going. And so I was just taking some deep breath, and I was trying to practice all these breathing techniques that I've learned over the past 2 years. I was just trying to focus myself that it's okay, just keep on, just relax, stretch, and you know, I didn't care how it, you know, I was taking the test and I was like this, and I was clicking my mouse, and I was like, oh, because you know I have back problems doing them. I wanted to get up in the chair, but I don't want to distract the other people around me. So I'm just like this, just clicking, and I was like, come on, please. In my mind, I needed to pee. I needed to take a break. I need to breathe. I needed to pray. Come on, please. So finally, it reached 150 question. Sure enough, it popped out, do you want to take a break? And I clicked yes immediately, and I stood up, stretched, and had to go through the process of going, you know, it's almost like it's so strict. Like you have to turn in your badge, wipe your, you know, do a palm again, and you can't get through. You have lockers, it's all, you really can't do anything. You can't have your phones on. The phones, it's almost like going to a court. The phones, they have to seal it. Your cell phones, they have to seal it, and you have to lock it, and you can't get through it. They have to cut it. They have to open it themselves and give it back to you, you know, so you can't bring your phone to the bathroom. It's almost like, you know, they all almost like want to go with you to the bathroom, make sure that you don't try to cheat or something. So I went to the bathroom and just really took a deep sigh and prayed, and I'm just like, I don't know, like half of the questions that I've answered, I don't even know them. I'm already screwed. And at that point, I was already so discouraged, and everything just went blur. As soon as I got back to the chair and started back the test, at that point my hopes and my confidence and my brain, they all went downhill. I was just looking at the questions, and for some reasons they all like foreign language to me. It's almost like I could not recognize the word, you know. When you get to that stage of anxiety, you get into that tunnel vision, that's what they call it, and you're just like, oh Lord, just let me get this over with, just forget it. Can I just quit, you know, on it and just forget it? When I reached 180, well, no, about 100, almost close to 200 question, 200th question, jeez, I already knew that I think I'm gonna get the maximum number of questions. At that point I was like, I'm screwed. I'm definitely screwed. So my confidence level has already been so low and down and everything. It's still a blur right now. I can't even think. I tried not to look at the time. I don't even know what time it was. I knew I started at 8, and it was the 200th question. So I'm like, oh crap, I'm gonna use up all my, that means I've been here for the past 3.5 or 4 hours already. And so I went on, I tried to get my focus back on, kept answering the questions, but questions were still foreign to me, and all the answers looked right. I just wanted to get it over with at that point. So I clicked and clicked and clicked, and I realized there was no more people clicking with me. And I looked around the room, and I was actually the last one in the room. Everybody has left. I said, oh my gosh, I am the dumbest person in the world to still be in this room. Like 6 hours later, I looked at the time. I had 20 minutes left, and I was on 260th question. And so I was like, wow, I wonder if I'm the only one who really used up the whole 6 hours to take this board exam. So finally it was over. I had 15 minutes. They had the survey after that. I was just like, yeah, I strongly agree. Yeah, I'll go for it. You know, whatever. Get my money. And some be here next month. You know. And I went out of the room. Finished. And I tried to text my husband. I didn't know where he hang out all this time. I tried to divert my attention to like, oh my gosh, I made him wait this long. I wonder what he was doing. You know, I didn't even give him any money to get coffee. I think he had some change, and instead of dealing with my own stuff, I was like, oh, I feel bad for him. So I tried to text him, and I went on the elevator, and I went down and I saw him in the coffee shop there, and had this big smile on his face. And when I saw him, literally, I felt like I was just going to him. Like, you know, little girl, like you just want to run to your dad or your mom's arms and just be cuddled and just be comforted. Like, you know, I just wanted to cry. But there were too many people there, and I felt like, oh my gosh, you know, I don't want to cause a scene here. So but when I saw him, I was walking. I remember walking towards him and just almost wanting to like embrace him and say that, you know, I screwed up. Beat me up, or if you wanna, if you have a divorce paper right now, I'll go ahead and sign it. You know, I screwed up. But I held myself, and we were walking in the car. He just kept quiet, and I was quiet too. But he had this big smile on his face, and he has his coffee, and he said, how'd it go? And I remember just looking at nothing. I really can't even recall how I got to our vehicle. We hadn't had breakfast. We hadn't had lunch. It was almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And he said, so you want to go eat lunch? And, you know, we were driving in Nashville, and I wish I can describe the feeling of it's an eerie feeling of just feeling like the whole world is a blur. Like, I could hear him say, do you want to eat lunch? But my surroundings are all just like cloudy. I don't know if there was really a lot of fog in Asheville yesterday, but I swear the whole area looked like there was a fog. Like, but I could hear someone asking me if I want to have lunch. And then I realized, I think it took me a while to realize that it was over. That I just got out of the room and spent 6 hours, the last 6 hours, taking a test, draining my brain, and I could not even remember any bit of confidence that I did good. And that feeling of knowing that, oh, well, that was it, you know, this is what I worked hard for this many years and this many nights that I've studied and practiced and all that. This was it. I just screwed it up. And so I wanted to cry, but I held myself. At that point, I heard him telling me that, stop being like that, you know, it's stop being negative. Between me and him, I'm always the one who would always be the encourager. You know, I've always been the one strong. I've always been the one who's like, come on, you know, it's not the end of the world. And I was so broken, I guess, and discouraged. And for me to hear that coming from him was more than an encouragement. It was more like, it was more convincing, you know. And he said that, what's the worst that could happen, really? It's, you don't pass it, then you just have to retake it. And you've gone this far, and you've you've worked so hard, and God has brought you this far, and this is the only thing that's holding you back from completely fulfilling your dream. And I remember him saying that, what's up with your faith? You know, don't you realize how much God has done for us all these many years, and yet you know that he's got another alternative for us. You know that there's always going to be another plan, not the way we wanted it or the way you planned it, I planned it, but there's always going to be something else, and you know that, And all the time that we were driving, I was just quiet and I could not say anything because I don't know what to say. I got all of these text messages from people, from my friends, and from a lot of people, my family, because they knew I was taking the test that morning. I'm getting all these text messages. How'd you do? What do you think? Aren't you glad it's over? Things like that. And I was just overwhelmed. So overwhelmed that I ended up turning off my phone the whole day yesterday, technically. I just could not reply back. I didn't want to hear pretty much from anybody at that point. What I've heard from my husband was enough. So I just turned off my phone. So if those of you who have texted me yesterday and have checked on me, I'm sorry. I wish I could say that I didn't mean to ignore you, but I did. Sorry. I allowed myself to cry and to just be on my own. I don't want to know the results because I don't want to be discouraged right now. So I'm just going to sleep over this. I'm going to try to sleep over it and pray about it. And that's what I did. I just prayed and cried to God. I sang. I did this video. I'm not going to be a source of encouragement to anybody right now because my spirit is very crushed. My confidence is very crushed. My heart is very crushed. My brain is, I don't know what my brain is. I felt like I'm the dumbest person in the world. I felt like I am not good enough. I felt very defeated. I felt very cheated. I felt like, really? This kind of question. And have about 24 more hours to find out if I pass it or not. I don't really know if I did. I don't know if I'm ready to know. I don't know how I'm going to react to the results. I am still hopeful, but I'm more gearing on the bad side, I should say. In my dreams last night, that pop-up screen of saying that, sorry you failed, or reschedule your test some other time. That kept playing in my head over in my dreams. But I tried to really surrender those negative feelings and thoughts that I have to God. I tried to find comfort and healing in reading his Bible, reading his words, all the Bible verses and stuff to give me strength and comfort the next day, which is today. And this morning I woke up, I was expecting that I was going to be so depressed, but I was, but not so depressed. I woke up and I just said, okay, well, maybe I failed it. I guess I failed it. So I'm already programming myself to that. I'm programming myself, but part of me still kind of hopes